Hello, everyone. Thanks for joining in. And as usual, we'll wait a couple minutes so everyone can join us. And we'll start with the presentations. I am Enrico Nanni Vicenzi, Cloud Strategy Consultant. And for today, I'll be your host. And I'll let Tommaso present himself.
Yeah, thank you, Enrico. I'm Tommaso Bacconi. I work in Cubbit as a full stack developer. And today I'm going to show you a little demo on how to perform a direct backup with Veeam version 12 on Cubbit.
Okay, thank you, Tommaso. I will tell you a bit how this presentation will work as usual. And first, you will get introduced to what's Cubbit and what's the topic about. Little sneak peek, it's about Veeam and hyper-resiliency through a GDPR solution compliant. And then Tommaso will proceed with his technical demo for Veeam and Cubbit, basically. I think we can start. And
Let's start.
after after the presentation, also there will be a Q&A session. If you have questions, so you can write them down. We will answer them directly from the chat. And if you have any other questions, maybe a bit more time consuming, we will available to schedule a call or something. So as I mentioned, this presentation is about Veeam and Cubbit. How do we integrate with each other, and how can you have a GDPR compliant solution? So what's Cubbit? As some of you may already know, we are the first geo-distributed cloud storage based in Italy. We basically have a cloud storage solution that's pretty different from what's on the market right now, as we do not rely on a centralized storage, but on a distributed one. So our solution is different in common and different for two aspects mainly. First one, because we use a platform, an object storage platform that's S3 compatible. So you can integrate it, for example, with Veeam. That's the topic, the main topic for today. But you can also integrate it with any API compliant with S3, for example, Commvault or directly from Veeam QNAP. We have also other webinars on that solutions. And the other part that's more interesting is about our infrastructure. As I mentioned, it's distributed. So what happens when you upload a file in Cubbit? So basically, it gets first encrypted through AES-256. Then it gets split into 20 chunks. These 20 chunks are then replicated into 40, and these 40 chunks are then distributed on our distributed storage network. We have different regions for your data. So you can store it, for example, directly in Italy, Germany, Spain, France, and wherever you would like to be compliant with your data. And we, as an S3 compatible, we have also all the features that comes with it. For example, versioning, locking, so you can have immutable backups. And also we have, for example, ownership control and the very useful VM policies. This solution is about storing your data safely. So basically, we are like a bank with no vault. And it's perfect to store a large amount of data for long periods of time, and also through many transfers. Our main points that we want to resolve first of all is digital sovereignty. We have 100% GDPR compliant solution. We have certified ISO 27001 and also 9001, and we are an European company that does that. We are based in Italy. And the second main point is about hyper-resiliency. We do not guarantee that your data is stored just in one data center, but in many nodes across all the regions. So our durability can go up to 15 nines of durability. Thanks to our technology, there is also a cost reduction compared to, for example, hyperscalers like AWS, Google, Azure, and you do not have egress fees or deletion costs. That's hidden, and our commercial validation is about being transparent and offer you a clear price for what you get. And also, thanks to our technology, we managed to reuse all the capacity in order to grant them more life, so be a more sustainable solution compared to others. For now, we have more than 220 companies, mostly Italian for now, but we are expanding. And we have big names like Leonardo, that is one of the top European brand for security in every sense, from cyber to defense. But also we have other mainly ICT partners. And their use case is basically they choose us because we grant them that in every scenario we are able to retrieve their data, since our distributed solution manages to be very much resilient in every case, in every situation, ransomware attacks, natural disasters, as you don't get the single point of failure because we have many nodes to rely on. So with further ado, this was a bit presentation of everything, and now I'll pass the word to Tommaso on how does Cubbit work, more technical way, how to integrate it with Veeam.
Thank you, Enrico. And okay, so before going into the demo, I'll just go ahead and give you an overview, a quick, really quick overview on how the Cubbit works. And how Enrico was saying, we don't rely on data center. So instead, we have this peer-to-peer network that we call Swarm, made of a lot of nodes that talk to each other with this peer-to-peer protocol that we implemented. And this peer-to-peer protocol is integrated with the S3 protocol and is translated through our S3 gateway. And this is why we are compatible with all those kind of integration like out of the box. On top of that, we have our coordinator, which is a complex entity made of a lot of microservices, and its role is to monitor the status of the network, maintaining databases, and other kind of services for the service. Okay, so with no further ado, let's see the demo. We are going to see Veeam 12, since version 12 is the Veeam version from which we can perform a direct backup without putting together a scale-out repository, which was the standard procedure before that version. So what do we need? Let me add the video to the stage. Okay. Here is Veeam, and what do we need to perform a direct backup? We just need 2 steps. The first one is to create the target infrastructure, the target repository, which is Cubbit, of course. We need to click on Add the repository. It's of type object storage and S3 compatible, of course. We need to prompt a name, whatever name that we want to spot this repository later. We need to prompt the service point, which is the Cubbit endpoint, s3.cubbit.eu. And the region is .eu-west-1. And then we need a couple of keys in order to give Veeam the privileges to write and read the bucket. This is the Cubbit web console. From here, we can perform some basic S3 operation, including creating access a secret key. We can click on the button, optionally rename it, and then we can copy the access and the secret in their proper fields in the Veeam wizard. If the access and the secret have the privileges to write and read on the bucket, we can then list and write backups using Veeam. So now we can browse the bucket list. which is empty since we didn't create a bucket yet. So we can go back to console. In the bucket section, we can click create bucket. And from here, we can prompt a bucket name that must be unique for the entire Cubbit ecosystem. And then below, we can specify a couple of options, including object lock and versioning. We want an immutable backup in this demo, so we're going to enable the object lock. We're not going to enable the retention, since it's something that we do from Veeam. As you can see, object lock is enabled and versioning as well. This is because object lock comes with the versioning, like it's mandatory by S3 requirements. So let's go ahead now, and we can select the bucket that we created. Veeam will ask us for a folder. Since the bucket is empty, we can create a folder from here. You can call it backup virtual machine. And then, of course, select the folder. And here we have a couple of options. And the first one is the possibility to limit the object storage consumption. And the second option is, as we're saying, the immutability. We are going to flag this and prompt a number of days in which our backup will be protected from any accidental deletion, ransomware attack, or whatsoever. So this is the moment we set the retention period of the object lock. Okay, once we have done it, we can proceed by clicking next on the wizard, and we can leave untouched the next screen with the mount server, and by reaching the review point, we will see some operation by Veeam that is creating databases, installing packages, and stuff. We'll get the summary and we can click finish. Okay, so we have our here our live Veeam 12 repository, which is S3 compatible, which is a direct backup. So we just missed the second step, which is the creation of the actual backup job. Let's go to home, backup job. We want to backup a virtual machine. Okay, also here we can give the name that we prefer. We have in this network a bunch of virtual machines. We're going to backup a virtual machine called test, that is just a test virtual machine that we use for this kind of demo and other test operation. It's just 17 gigabytes of data, so not so much. From here, we can select the repository we just configured. So let's go below on the live demo Veeam 12. We can specify the retention policy. And optionally, we can go to the advanced settings. Here in the backup, we could optionally create active full backups in a period of time, which is nothing else than putting together the incremental that we made to create a full backup again. On the storage tab, we have this interesting option, which is the storage optimization. By default is 1 megabyte on Veeam. And on this video, I will leave it untouched, but we observed that with 4 megabytes, the perform are way better. So we suggested to change this option to 4 megabytes. Okay, we can go ahead, click next, skip the part, and reach the schedule. Of course, we don't need a schedule by now because we are just showing a backup once, and then we will see also their store, but we don't need to set up a schedule. But if you want, you can from here decide to run it daily, monthly, or in the period of time you prefer. Okay, we have here the summary. And now that we have created the repository and the backup job, we just have to start it by clicking on start. By right-clicking on it and select statistics, we can also check the progression of our backup. I'll just keep to the end of this phase to not bore you with minutes of empty stuff. At the end, we will see that we transferred 6.5 gigabytes out of 17, since Veeam manipulate and compress the data before backup the data. And now we can check on the Cubbit web console what happened. In the bucket, we have all those folders. as you can see, we don't have like files that we can understand. We don't have the specific file of the virtual machine. We just have a bunch of blocks. And if we try to open a blocks, for example, we see that there is a retention enabled on it, and we are not able to delete it. If we try to delete it, actually, we are able to do it, but this is just because the versioning is enabled. So what we did here by deleting it is just putting a delete marker on top of the stack version. But if we try to delete the specific version, we cannot do that. We'll get an error. Okay, let's just recover the block by deleting the delete marker. And now let's try a restore operation. First, let's go on the test machine. This is our test machine. It's just a terminal with some files on it. We're going to remove a file. Sorry if you're not accustomed to the command prompt here, but I'm just removing a file called demo file txt. Just to be able to check later if we did recover all of those files. Okay, so let's go back on Veeam. We have to go in the backups section. Here we have our backup job. We can right-click on the virtual machine with backup. We can optionally restore specific files, and by specific files, I mean configuration files. Of course, we're not able to navigate the file structure of the virtual machine, but what you can do here is just to select specific VMX files or the VMDK file that is the entire virtual machine disk. Indeed, is 17 gigabytes on size here, the test flat. We are not interested in selecting configuration file. We're just going ahead and restore the entire virtual machine. So let's select the virtual machine, and we want to restore it to the original location. So we just leave check the restore to the original location. First, we need to shut down the test virtual machine in order to overwrite the data. And once we've done it, we can proceed and start the restore process. The restore reason is that we lost some files. So Veeam will load, and then it will show us a bunch of logs with the status and the progression of our restore. As you can see, the status is starting, then in progress, and we can check this at any time. We can also close the window and reopen it from the left sidebar at any time. Of course, here I also skipped from the start to the end to just avoid to see all the restore process. Okay, once the status is completed, we see that we have a success restore, and we can check on the test virtual machine what's the situation. Of course, we should power on the machine again. And I speed up the bootstrap phase since it's just a bunch of logs. What we are interested in to see now is if the demo file.txt is present, because we deleted it, and then we restore the machine. So we should see the list of files that was present when we back up the machine. And if we prompt ls, which is the list command, we see that we have, together with all the other files, the demo file.txt. So the restore was successful, and that brings me to the end of the demo. If there are any questions, this is the right moment, because I will pass the mic back to Enrico for the Q&A session.
So thank you, Tommaso, for the great explanation. As now, I don't see any comments about it or questions. So what I just want to add is that if someone is interested, the next 8th of February, we have a very important demo about partner program, so for our partners. And I see that just a question just came up, and maybe we can answer. So,
Yeah,
in which cases should I prefer Veeam to the other provider to my backup?
well, it's really up to you. Veeam is one of the most reliable software when it comes to backing up using S3 protocol, and most of our clients use Veeam. Of course, you will need a license for the enterprise version, so it's also a matter of cost. But you can check up our documentation, because Veeam is not the only one agent that is possible to use to do that kind of backups, and we tried the most important, the most famous, the most used in the environment. So you can just check out the documentation and see how to configure them and try them.
Yeah, yes, we have plenty of, that's it, plenty of materials on that. We also had others, webinars for other APIs. And as I was mentioning before the question, we'll have a very important update the 8th of February to present for the partner program, and a portal that we develop internally, and where you can manage your clients and prospect in a better way. And if there are no other considerations, I will leave you there with the link to register for a call if you like. And we'll leave it there just a couple of minutes so everyone can scan it or click the link in the chat. And I think that's it for today. And
Yeah.
thank you
Of
very
course, you
much.
can check out all our other demos, since Veeam is not the only one that we presented. In our YouTube channel, you can get all of other software that we tested. And yeah, I think that's all. We can wait some few seconds for other question. Otherwise, contact us for any doubt. We are open to have a call with you, or see listen more about you and your need.
Perfect. I'm checking the chat. I don't see any other comments, and we don't want to get you more time. So I think we can maybe close it for today. Thank you very much for your attendance, and hope everything was clear. And hope to see you maybe the next time.
Okay, bye everyone.
Bye. Thank you.